Sup guys, I'm the world's best Smash coach. I put lessons exclusively on Medify. So if you want a galaxy brain like me, click the link in the description and sign up to learn from a goddamn Chad. Sup guys, so now we are in the high tier part of the list, right? Or some people might look at this and say, hey, this is really just an upper mid tier if you look at where these characters are relative to each other. I don't give a shit, we're calling it high tier, deal with it. And this is the part of the list where most of these characters have at high and top level, like, good results. Like, a lot of these characters below might have one player doing well, if even. But nah, this is the characters where it's like, you go into a bracket, and you should expect to run into some of these in, like, the top cut of a bracket, like top 64 for National. Definitely expect to run into these characters. Starting off, we got Ness. Ness is a character that has Syrup, who doesn't really attend many big events. Same with PK Chris, doing very well, like the locals in my region, actually. And of course, Sent has been, struggling a little bit. There's also Gakta in Japan, who generally does pretty well. And it makes sense. This is Ness is a character that's always been like good, but kind of falls off a top level, especially as the game gets older and people learn how to space more. And we're seeing that happen in Ultimate post-quarantine for sure. Definitely a character where it's like, if you're not like playing on point with your spacing, this character will mess you up. You have to be on point with spacing, on point with punishing whiffs, with projectiles, edge guard. This character requires a lot out of the opponent to like shut him down, which is why this character does so well. But this character also has a bit of inflated results because he's very popular. I don't know why people like playing him, but I guess people like playing him. It's kind of like playing a heavyweight where if execution isn't on point, this character is going to feel absurd. Now, Bayo is probably a hot take. People are probably saying, what? No way. I think Bayo is a really strong character, as you can tell. This character is pretty common too, honestly. I think most regions have a good Bayo. I know mine has a couple Bayos, I think, actually, that do pretty well. There's Lima doing well at events, quietly, like running Texas pretty much, and doing well at nationals. Geist, when he travels to stuff, does well. I think there's actually a Japanese Bayo that top baited their recent major, I forget what the tag was. I just don't like that there's actually a lot of Bayo players doing pretty solidly, and it makes sense. This character's kit is good. This character's hard to hit and punishes you trying to hit her, but this character also has a lot of like annoying poke tools with her guns. Falling Bear can be annoying, like just Psybe is an annoying pressure tool, and this character is just annoying, but can hit for lots of damage. And then edge guard you. It's very the ledge trap. Like this character's disadvantage state being so good is a huge deal. And unless you have a very like grab heavy character, this frame one escape with Bass Within is so frustrating. So it's like this character doesn't look or feel that strong until you fight a good one and you're like, man, all these things are really annoying. Alright, Sheik. This is a character that a lot of people think is top tier, like top 5 lately, and I kind of look at that and go, no. Like, obviously results aren't everything, and this is one of those, like, very hard to pilot characters. You gotta be very good at this game to pilot this character, which I do think is already a point against this character being top tier, because most of the top tiers are pretty damn easy to play. Like, top tiers tend to, not to say carry players, but they put in a lot of the work by just existing in their current state. Sheik does not do that. And then she has a lot of weaknesses, just because she's hitting for such low damage and is so lightweight. With that said, I know Zakra is playing her in a Japanese event and kind of getting washed with her. But there's another Sheik named Silpha got top 8 with her. Void when he attends events. Always does pretty well with Sheik. Sheik in general has a few matchups that really stink. Rose and all of them are actually 2 of them, funny enough. She kind of is a character where it's like she's getting results. And the people playing her, very like convinced she's very good. But I don't see it. I see a character that's a lot of effort for good reward. But if you know how to fight against her, her neutral is annoying, but has like key places you can like just press a button and like trade with her, and it's really bad for her to trade. You know how to deal with that, you know how to deal with needles, and you kind of just know how to deal with like the way she's running around. I don't think she's that absurd. And I think top player is going to be like, you know what? We were capping about her being top tier in a little bit of time. Sora. Now, I like playing Sora a lot. He's very fun. His results sadly aren't that good yet, but he is still the newest DLC character. People are figuring him out. If anything, he's going to get worse over time. This character reminds me of like kind of Smash 4 or even Ultimate Shulk, where everyone's like, oh my god, potential, because he has crazy combos and like strings and whatever. But in practice, a lot of the execution on these combos is not only difficult, but inconsistent. Like a lot of his moves don't work well. Up B, I've had people fall off up B even when I'm like using it correctly by drifting in towards them. I've had people fall out of Thunder consistently. I've had people fall out of my neutral areas and my forward areas very consistently. And then a lot of his combo game is very like percent dependent, character dependent, and a lot of the factors that mean his combo game, when it's fully optimized, might be really good, but there's a lot of work to optimize, and it just doesn't feel consistent. With that said, his mobility keeps him down. His buttons are really good. Nair, Fair, Bear, tilts, dash attack, smashes, projectiles, so many good things. And I can see what people are coming from thinking this character like has a lot of potential, but I think most top players are leaning towards him being here or even mid tier because his really slow mobility and floating nature gives him a lot of bad matchups for zoning and means he gets juggled very easily. And like, you know, Zachary won major with Sora, dropped him. I'm like playing the characters like a fun secondary. I don't know if I can bring him out of major. I will say playing him online is pure hell. He's so bad online. And I think a lot of the Sora players right now are doing kind of okay. So this is like a bit of wishful thinking, honestly. Alright, Young Link is a character that just does well at events. Like, in terms of results, he's top 20. Yep, makes sense. He has all the things you want in a character. Combos, fast, projectiles, good frame data. Even his hitboxes are decent. He just has a bad disadvantage state. I think the bad disadvantage means at top level, he dies off single interactions a bit too much to be like a top tier. But pretty darn good character with lots of representation showing off that he's good. And, you know, if someone wanted to say he's upper high tier, I wouldn't argue. I might just be good versus the character. But I think he's too inconsistent for like anywhere outside this tier. We have Byleth, aka MKLeo, beating people with this character. But the character is good. This character has some of the most relevant kill power in the game. Like, this character hits hard and can kill you very early. And without like too much difficulty. Like, you know, up B can kill you early, the smashes, setups in the back air, nair to forward air, nair to dash attack, up air. Like, this character oozes kill power attached to really big hitboxes that are also pretty safe. And like, mobility is a problem, but this character compensates for his mobility with his power. It's just you have to be playing as a player who makes like hard reads and calls out habits to exploit it, because this character can kind of make these like hard reads pretty safely. But if you're not like making these hard reads and you try to play like a more safe, consistent neutral, I think you eventually lose to the fact that this character is poor speed, just struggles at top level. But obviously Leo's making this character work, so this character has to at least be solid. And I think the more people play this character, we'd see more putting in work. I know there's a player in Japan using this character more and actually doing pretty well. I think his name was LY, who's doing pretty well in Japan with the character, so we'll see. Mii Brawler. See, Mii Brawler I just threw here. Like, no one really plays the Miis, especially when, like, there's just better characters to play. Like, Mii Brawler does feel like a worse Fox nowadays. But really, I just kind of throw the character here out of thinking this character's good, but the results don't back it up. And no one's really playing the character. Olimar. So, there's 3 major Olimars doing work, right? Myron, Shuton, and me. Shuton is, like, playing Olimar secondary Aegis. I used to try main, now I dual main Olimar Rosa. Myron's a solo Olimar and does very well, but it's the worst of the 3 of us. And this character is one of those where it's like, you know, as Tira says, 2 is outclassed or too many bad matchups. He's definitely in the too many bad matchup section, where like he actually does well versus a lot of characters. Like, he beats Pikachu. He handles Joker and like Game & Watch well, like fine. He's actually good versus like Diddy and PT, etc. But then you run into like a good Rob and that matchup feels impossible. Or like a good Roy is like, I think, pretty rough. Or even lower in the tier list, things like Misordi or like Zelda is randomly really annoying for him. So like, he's a very weird character with lots of good and bad matchups, but his results are solid. Even outside of the top 3, he's a character that's actually pretty like good at all levels of play, even top 20 results. But I just think that like at top level, he has so many matchups that really benefit from having a secondary to be anywhere above here. Alright, Terry. There's like one Terry player, and Riddle's like does not have faith in the character, and I don't know why. He does well with the character, but like no one plays. I don't really know why people don't play Terry either. Like, he's very good. He has like everything you need as like a close range FGC character to get in and blow people up. But I guess his recovery makes people not want to play him. Like, when Riddles just focuses on full Terry, he does super well. And if more people wanted to play this character, they would do super well also. And I kind of don't know why he's not played that much, to be honest. And why like Kazuya is more popular. But it is what it is. Hero. I used to not think much of Hero. I used to think it wasn't that good. But I can't say his name ever. Akakitsu, whatever his name is in Japan, does very well with the character. And I'm like, alright, yeah, fine. He's doing very well with Hero. Top 10 in Japan, beating top players. At least I think he was top 10. Maybe he was like top 20 now. Vivi from my region does well. I know Silvio is another good hero player. And there's like a lot of good hero players out there. And the thing about this character is, I never thought about what if you just played looking for buffs and nothing else. But I watch hero players just basically run around, space with aerials and tilts and fish for buffs. And it's like, this is really annoying. Pretty strong character. Kind of just outclassed by like better characters who don't need like buffs to be really good. But yeah, like when he has buffs, he's an absurdly good character. Like, he's a top tier. Without buffs, he's like a mid tier. And he doesn't have too much difficulty getting buffs. Kind of like Olimar. Olimar is like a mid tier without purple Pikmin. And then he gets like 1 purple and he's high tier, and 2 and he's like top tier. Min Min. Now this character was, in my opinion, the bottom of top tier before. And then she got nerfed hard. And the nerfs are really bad on her. I don't want to play her anymore. I just think she like I think she has too many matchups. She just can't win anymore at top level. Like I think like a good like Roy or like a good like Rob, a good Diddy Kong, Sheik, Zero, maybe not Zero Suit, but like Fox. All those matchups are just borderline impossible for her top level now. She is super polarizing and she shits on some characters. Like she fights like a Lucario or like a Doc and she just wins those matchups free, sure. But she really just can't handle being pressured or characters that like actually force her to approach, because her main like way to deal with pressure is like neutral air, and like destroying shields with like her tilts, and that's kind of gone. Characters have to approach. She can't like pressure too well from far away, and like even up close now that Nair is like super nerfed and like her sure pressure is nerfed, it's like she has trouble like really messing people up close because she's so slow too. And like she's still really annoying, like I said, for some characters, but it's like I'm not playing her. A lot of Minion players just dropped her or have no faith in her anymore. Even Protobahn post nerfs, I don't see a reason why he's gonna play Mimic anymore. I think he's picking up Aegis now anyway. The character honestly might drop even more, but I think that's too early to say that. When this character's archetype still is like, does not let certain characters play the game. Yoshi. Yoshi has always been that character that's like good, but doesn't work at top level. Really annoying in all these different ways. Results everywhere. Like this character's just in all regions at like all even top level. You have Yoshidora like in Japan doing well. This character just has results, and it makes sense. Fast in the air, pretty heavy character. Hits hard, she hits very hard. Good frame data, good mobility, a good projectile, command grab, everything you want. Just doesn't have hitboxes. Not having hitboxes and being a floaty character is definitely hard to work with sometimes. Samus is another character with lots of results everywhere. Like, no one player is pushing for like top tier results with the character. Although I think if Wadi gets to go with Samus, we could see a top level player like pushing good results with her. There's like local Samuses, like in different regions that do well with the character right now. But like, character is kind of what we want from a zoning character. Really good zoning tools, good pressure off the zoning, good spacing tools. But since the character's so heavy and hits kind of hard, it's like she can afford to make mistakes and punish you. The ledge shopping with bombs is busted. When I think of what I would want like a dedicated zoner to be, Samus is honestly that. Like if she was a little bit better in some areas, she'd be a top tier for sure. She kind of relies a bit on like charge shots, so sometimes she's a very linear character. And you know she's heavyweight and disadvantage isn't bad. When you have a character with a really good juggling state, it can be hard for her. And short characters like Olimar, Diddy Kong just are hell for her because she doesn't have short characters well at all. And a lot of the better characters in this game are pretty short and pretty fast, so like her inability to hit short characters and sometimes fast characters pretty well ends up being a problem at like the top level of the game. Alright, Bowser. Bowser is the best heavyweight. This is just a good character. Man, if you put Bowser's kit like on a character that was, say, Lucina sized, top tier, free. Only thing holding this character back is how big he is and frame for air dodge. And I think results wise, like you have Leon doing well, you have Hero in Japan doing well, like I think Leon's like top 25 in the world right now, arguably top 20. I think Hero is like top 20 in Japan as well. And like sure, the character is weird because this character is not too common at like more regional and local levels and like doing well there. But like two players in two completely different metas and regions doing very well in those areas says a lot about a character. Like imagine if they like were in the same region, they could like discuss the character and help each other improve on matchups. Or imagine if there was like a couple more like good players playing Bowser following what they're doing. This character would be having insane results, I think. Granted, being heavyweight in this game stinks, especially when you get to better levels and people exploit heavyweight weaknesses. But this character's strengths are so strong, and like the only weakness of this character is being big. And the final Luigi is really just elegant putting in work with Luigi, as far as I know. But man, he puts in work. And it makes sense. This character is really annoying. Frame 1 escape with down B. So it's kind of like playing Bayo where like a lot of your combos aren't true or like are more of guesses. And whenever your damage output's significantly reduced, that makes those risk reward situations much better for the character. But Luigi has good ass shield game. Obviously the grab game is absurd. Even the fireball game, people don't talk about, but Luigi's fireball game is good. Luigi's pressure game with his normals is good. Like, you have to play lane versus him. If you can't play lane versus this character, you will lose. While playing lane is the name of this game at top level, there are certain characters that can't play lane in the right way. Like Roy can't play lane like versus that. Lucina can't play lane like in the way you want to versus Luigi. Like there's a lot of good characters that can't just like run away and jump over him and basically avoid all interactions with him. So eventually you have to interact with him, and if the Luigi player's execution is on point, those interactions are scary. Like you have to outplay them there or you will die. It's just there's enough characters that can like not interact with him that he's not quite upper high tier, but he is very close to it. And that is it for this part of the list, guys. We're getting near the end of this. Hope you're liking these videos. I'm sure you guys are disagreeing about everything, and you know what? I'm used to it. That's fine.